back in hardcore, baby. And in the last episode, we built this like potato carrot trading thing. Yeah, I'm very happy with the work we put in yesterday. This all looks very nice. But let's see how it's been producing. It's like I straight up haven't been on. You can kind of hear it working. Nice. It's pumping. It's definitely pumping for sure. Some of you might be wondering, why do you need it? Why do you need all these potatoes and carrots? Part of it is to trade, and the other part is for bone meal. And if I get any extra, like, I don't know, I'll just donate it or something. We've been doing a lot of work over on this side recently, and I think we've got to show this side of the village a little love because it's looking bad. Yikes. Okay, so I have a very big build already planned out. It's not very big, but it is not, it's more than what I have time for. To start, let's just lay down a nice terrain. Yikes, my inventory is a mess. Hello, Panko. Glad to see you're studying the map. Good work. Hi, dog that don't ever remember getting. I don't even know if I have a name for it. Let me know if you have any good names. I'd love to have. And hello, Wallace. How are you? Doing good. Doing good. And who's up here? It's the criminal herself, Douglas. We keep him locked up because she's a criminal. So I definitely used most of the dirt I had on this last project because most of what I've been building on isn't like real terrain because it was all generated in like 1.17, so it's right before it starts looking pretty good. So the plan was to get all the dirt I needed underneath the terrain I already built out. And I'm done laying down the groundwork, kinda. So, like, I just went crazy with dirt. The shovel's basically gone. May it rest in peace. But yeah, this is way more than enough space. But part of this build is a lot of space for the sheep to roam, because this is going to be a sheep farm kind of thing. It's gonna have a sheep farm, which in and of itself, not that doesn't take up that much space, but I want to have like a huge field for the sheep to roam, so it seems more realistic. Of course, I've got some resource gathering to do, but one of the resources I do need to get is mangrove wood, which I don't know if you remember, but when I was trying to get my very cool armor, I did pass a mangrove biome and picked up some propagules, and then I threw them out later because I was like, oh, I can just come back. Oh, never mind. I still have the propagules. I still need to go out there because I need to get a lot of mud for the build as well. So we'll still be going out there, but I have the propagules. I hope I took a screenshot of the coordinates because that was part of that 25,000 block journey, and I don't really want to. If you have a name for this guy, let me know. I found the coordinates. I've got some obsidian, because we're going to take the nether to get there, because I'm not traveling 10,000 blocks out. That's seriously what it was. 10,000 blocks of traveling. Not doing that. So I'm going to go this way for a little bit, and hopefully not die. Hey! Silly goose. What? I didn't know that there was one of these this direction. I'm so risky. Whoa! And if I did my calculations correctly, this should be the mangrove. Ooh. Ho 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 ho! Look at me go. It's all rainy outside, and that should be a good start. I hope this is enough. If it's not enough, I'm lost. Never mind. Okay, it's coming down out there. Imagine the rainiest day, and then multiply that by 2, and like the videos of like the rain noises to fall asleep to, thunderstorm noises to fall asleep to. Imagine like the best version of that. That's what's happening right now to me. I hear the crystal raindrops fall at the beauty. Oh no. So the general consensus in the community is that the mangrove wood is the worst to mine. Also, I thought it would be important to mention that I haven't seen a single patrol ever since I trapped one of their own. I think I'm going to convert them to our way of life. Glomby. Why even like... They just made the worst tree. Oh, I got 8 wood from that. And I have to deal with this. Look, if nobody's gonna say it, then I will. Mangrove is the worst tree to chop, by far. And I've never considered making a tree farm until this. I might do it. And so here is a full minute of me complaining about how mangrove sucks to farm. Okay. This is one of those Minecraft L's. This tree has 3 wood! Then I have to deal with this! Oh, sorry, my bad. 4. Oh, yeah, okay, that's normal for some, I guess. But then you have to deal with the legs. Waste axe durability on the legs. I think I have all the resources gathered. I'm so tired. It might be kind of hard to tell with all the scaffolding, but we finished the outside of the build. It's nothing too fancy, you know. It'll look nice. Now that we finished the outside, we can make the sheep farm that's going to go inside of here. And then after that, we need to decorate the interior to make it all make sense. And then we've got to decorate the outside. I'm so tired all the time. But I need to keep up with my upload schedule to the 10 people that watch me. Yeah, okay, this was before my channel went crazy, like 3 days ago. To be fair though, I was at like 50 subs and then something happened. I don't know who happened. This is some divine intervention or whatever. But yeah, that's a little more than 10 people that watch me. Seriously, thank you so much for the support. I don't know what happened. I know this is probably a one-time thing, but still thank you. First step is we gotta come over here and start breeding these guys because I'm gonna need a lot more of them. I hope I have iron because, man, I've been using a lot recently. Ooh, I don't know if that's enough iron. So off we go on a very quick iron mining journey. What? Another one! If you need to find a spawner, just leave it to me, you know? I, the spawner guy, the guy who finds all the spawners, found another one. Whoop-de-doo, big deal. It's okay, guys. Oh, nuts. 30 minutes later, I had all the iron I would need, maybe. Let that cook. That's a lot of iron, to be fair. And so, I crafted all the resources we're gonna need to make the farm. It's not that resource intensive, if I'm being honest, so it wasn't too hard. So, while we're building it, let's explain how a sheep farm works. To start, we have a sheep on a grass block, and then it's also very important to place a second grass block near it so the grass can regrow once the sheep eats it. And then we place an observer to the side of the grass block that the sheep is under so it can detect if anything happens with that block. Lead it to a redstone output that goes into a dispenser that has shears inside of it, and whenever that goes off, it'll shear the sheep. So, when the grass block is eaten by the sheep, it'll update the observer, which will send a signal into the dispenser, which will shear the sheep. It's that easy. It's one of the easier farms that you can build. Then we set up a collection system with a minecart hopper inside of the grass block with a hopper underneath that can lead to like a chest, and that's the entire farm. Now I added some stuff like a barrel that leads into the dispenser with more shears, so I have more storage for them. But the whole idea of a sheep farm isn't too hard to complete. I'd love to give credit to the person that designed this, but there are so many videos on YouTube, and so it's hard to say who did this. Same with like the villager farm. But yeah, I'm definitely not smart enough to figure this out on my own. Alright, starting from the bottom, we've got black, dark gray, light gray, white, brown, red, orange, yellow, lime, green, funky blue, other blue, worst blue, good purple, pretty good purple, and gross. Ah, and there we go. There's one last step, and I've got 2 stacks of iron. 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more stacks and a little bit for good measure. 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's a working sheep farm, except for I gotta fix this one part. Boom, 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 boom. And it's already producing cobblestone too, just as I suspected. I've got to place 16 trapdoors and then I'm done. Then I'm good to play.
We put this in your video.
Okay. It depends. What did you want me to put in the video? Because I probably won't.
Hey, you do.
So I have one fatal flaw with my sheep farm. It's just I had a reload system in the back. No. I had a reload system in the back, and it was just like a hopper directly behind, and sometimes wool gets caught, so I just gotta place a couple trapdoors.
So your design sucks.
Are you just trying to be a problem today? And done. It was that easy. We have the farm already done, and it was producing wool. The next step is to make an interior, which is going to be pretty annoying. I've been needing to gather clay from rivers in order to make terracotta, and I'm pretty sick of that, so we gotta find a mesa pretty soon. This interior was going to be a little tricky, just because I had to work around the farm, but I had kind of an idea. First thing we were going to do is add some mangrove stairs at the bottom. And then I think it would look good if we went all the way up with some dark oak, some stripped dark oak. The next step is I wanted to place each color of wool above the chest, so I knew which wool was which. And after realizing you can't access a chest, I put the wool in a different spot, and I did that for each sheep thing. Nice. Next, I think it'd be a good idea to add some slabs going around and also around the back, just so I can access the refilling barrels, but also so I can access all the different layers. And then we can put a ladder right here just to get to each of those layers, so I can get all the wool. Okay, that looks nice. And then I wanted to work on the next room, so for that I was going to need to build a wall in between the 2 rooms. Like that. Ah, wonderful. You can gotta get a scope for how tall this room is gonna be. It's gonna be tall. You can also kind of do something like this to separate the inside and the outside. Very nice. Alright, so then I think it'd be good to just get a basic floor in. And boom, look how nice. First thing we add is a little table. A little of these trapdoor action. That's a nice combo right there. Then let's add a little like double fenced off area right here. And then we add a little table right here. We add a little lever. We add a couple item frames, add a lead, add a pair of shears, and this area is basically done. The idea is that it's like, oh, you come over here you bring the sheep over here from the pasture, and this is where you shear them. And then we can go like this too. Very cool. And then if we go like this, grab some of my wool. Wonderful. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. And then this, and then we add a composter with some wool on top. And this area kind of looks like sheared wool that's been just like hanging before it's being processed. Use your imagination, please. Add some trapdoors, and then add a couple doors, and that looks cool. Alright, and then the next step is going out to this outer section, and first we're gonna give everything a nice makeover on the floor. Something nice and simple like that. And then the next process is to, whoa. Ooh, whoa, that's huge. So this is like a little wool washing station. Then I can add a little table right here. And then another one right here to kind of close off this area. And then right here, we're gonna add just a little bit of blue dye. It'll make sense in just a second. Then we add something like this, so it's like wool that's been hanging to dry. This one's a little more damp than this one. I don't know. And then coming over here, I want to have just another little desk area. I want to use the new little pots. It's stupid that they don't stack, but they just look so nice. Oh, this is something I came up with on the spot. We had an item frame and a blue banner, and it's like a little tag that's like, oh, and here is blue dye to dye blue. And then next we come over here, dig down, we add a couple campfires like this, and then put some trapdoors on top of those. Oops. Actually, we're gonna put those one block higher. Yeah. And then we're gonna go around it with some spruce trapdoors. With some blue wool and then some water like this, and then we can place a carpet like this. And then a birch fence. We can add like a little ladder right there, and then we can go like this with some more white wool, and then this. And then the last part we need to add for this section is some trapdoors like this. And so this, use your imagination, is like a dyeing center. So we got our blue dye, and they've dyed the water blue, and they are dyeing this wool blue. Yeah, I don't know either. Alright, so let's move over on to this section. It's basically just the same idea. Some trapdoors. Add some barrels like this. And then with a blue banner, a cyan banner, and some cyan carpet, we can go like this. So it's kind of like this blue wool drying, I guess. And then something I real quickly wanted to add was if we place a lectern right here, and then we can go, okay, maybe something like that. Just like a little table. We'll place a book and quill, and theoretically, hypothetically, this is where people would order their spools of wool from right over here. And that is this outside section pretty much done. The last thing we've got to add is a roof. Once again, depleting my iron sources. I need an iron farm so bad. And we're gonna place them as a ceiling. We're gonna place them as a ceiling. We're gonna need more. We can just add some mangrove slabs around the edge to save on money. They have a very nice under texture, and I like how that looks. We got a couple of looms right here. Alright, the last thing we add is another little like wool station. So right here they're like weaving it through the loom to like make it into cloth. I don't really know how this works, if I'm being honest. Now it is time to move on to what is my favorite interior I've ever designed. So let's get started. Basically the idea was to have a whole bunch of spools of wool that is up for storage and make this entire room like a storage room for wool. So we can add a little shelf like this. We can add some signs like this to make the shelves look a little bit better. This next part, I will admit, is inspired by a BOO video a while ago where he made a wool thing similar to mine, so credit to him. So he made these spools of wool, and it's in a small enough scale to where it's realistic, but also you can't really like take inspiration off it and make something your own just because there's not much you can do. But basically you add some item frames with some stripped wood on the sides to kind of make the little spool sticks in the middle or whatever it's called. And then you add banners, so it kind of looks like the wool spool is like spilling out a little bit, if that makes sense. Either way, I think it looks really nice, and that's what I'm gonna do here, except I'm gonna fill this entire room with a whole bunch of shelves that have these on them. So we basically just have a whole bunch. See, that is this section all done for now, and I think it looks super sweet. But now we gotta move on to here. Kinda. Alright. Something like that would be kind of nice. And then we can add a nice little trim of the chiseled bookshelves just down here. Dang it, I built all of these on the wrong block. There we go, that's fixed. And then we can add this like this. It'll make sense in a little bit. And then to fill in this bottom space, I say we do a little bit of a mixture of jungle wood, granite, and the dripstone block. Something like that is kind of nice. And then going the rest of the way up, for every other one we can do like a mix of all the sandstones, the smooth sandstones, and some sand. Something like that. And then for the sections in between we can do a mix of like terracotta and granite. Something like that is kind of nice. And then right across here, and then we can add little mangrove like supports like this. Maybe a couple of lanterns. Then we can make a little, I say little, ton. I can add a support right here, which will make sense in a minute. Please say I have iron. Now that I've got some iron, we can add some, a hayloft. So spacing it out like every 3 blocks, we're gonna add another little pulley, grindstone looking thing. We can add some chains in between, and they can also come down to this piston. And we can add a little fence like this, and so it's kind of like a little crank that you'd crank this around and it'd pull this little hayloft up. Which, speaking of which, then we can add a couple of signs going around a piece of hay, what is it called? A bale of hay. And so it kind of like, oh, it's getting pulled up to the upper rafts where they can store it. And we can add hay bales up here. So like it makes more sense. Like this is where they load up and save hay bales for later, I guess. Do sheep eat hay? After that, I just added a bunch of details that would add to the build. Like a ladder going up to the top. And then I made sure to make the ground all messed up, just kind of like how we have been doing. Something like that. And then the last thing would just be to add some hay bales down here, so it kind of makes a little more sense. And there we go. This area is looking wonderful. We'll fix the outside in a little bit, but now let's move on to the last little bit of the interior, which is this area over here. So the next step was to work on this section of the build, which I thought is where the people who own the wool farm would live, like their housing area. To do that, I split it up into 3 floors. The bottom floor was going to be like a kitchen and dining area for them to eat. The last thing to do was add a staircase going up to the next floor, and this kitchen area was pretty much done. The next floor I wanted to be a little bit of a bedroom for all the kids, or whatever. Basically just a place to sleep, I guess. Boom. Boom. And that was the kids' room pretty much done. It was just a nice way to fill the space. The third and final floor would be like the parents' bedroom, the master bedroom. I had more room to go vertically, so it could help make the room feel more grand, I guess. I also went over to go check on the potato and carrot farm. And that finishes the final room that I wanted to do. I think this looks really nice. The last little decoration bit I wanted to do as a part of the house is this little patio section on top of the roof of the sheep area.
Just take a listen.
Just knock stuff off my desk. 2, 3. Plant field. And with this section finally being done, I think we can call the interior finished. Okay, and I think we're done with the interior. Let's take a tour. So, yeah, this whole tower took me a lot of time to do. Like everything does. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but the goal of this, or of me taking forever on builds, is so I don't hate it in like a year. And it's like, okay, it still looks nice, you know? So, anyway, the interior, it's not the best, but it's good. I like it. It could be better. So down here at the bottom floor, we have a nice dining and area and kitchen. Something I thought was cool is this is not spruce wood texture, actually. Come back here. It's just a painting. It's the back of a painting. I've used this a couple times. Another example of me using it is right here on the inn building. I don't know, it doesn't really make sense, but I think it's kind of cool. Kind of like upstairs, we've got like the children bedroom or something, and we come to the top, and this is the master bedroom area, which I think looks fine. A lot of it is really cool, like this little shrine area over here. That's very cool with the unlit torch. This door, doesn't really lead to anything. It leads to that door, which we'll get into in just a second. But if we go up this staircase, we've got a nice patio area. And this is probably my favorite part of the whole build. It's nothing too complicated or anything, very simple. But it's just got like a nice, cozy, I don't know, I think it looks cool. This part isn't done, and I don't really have plans to do anything with it. So, overall, it's a good build. It's an alright build. I think there's stuff that could be done better. Looking at the wool profits, yeah, this is probably the only thing I'm gonna do for in here, because I'm tired of this project. The next thing I gotta do is I gotta remove all of this scaffolding. I gotta remove all the scaffolding, and then we've gotta make the outside look nice, which, okay, let's just do that. How? Just give me unbreaking and efficiency. Thanks.
Whoa! G.I. Joe! Boom! Choo! 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 That was a lucky shot, that one too.
Now it was time to move on to building the field that the sheep would be in. I had to move like half the terrain down a block because it didn't work out with how I built the build. But after that, we were good to go. I don't know if I mentioned this, but what happened? I'm looking right now, and my last video is at 1.3k views. Oh, what happened? Okay, that's so sick, and that just means I have to get to work because what? No way. And to work we got. The next step is going to be building a wall for the sheep to stay inside of next to the build. Something like this is kind of the idea that we want. It does need some adjusting so it doesn't look quite as bad, but just like a ruined wall. Okay, maybe I hate this. Yeah, that wall was a little bit too ruined, but adding some more structure to it and then making it go all the way around the field, it started to look pretty good. Something like that. As most builds go, it looks pretty bad until you add everything around it, and then it looks okay. So this will be kind of the grazing area for the sheep. A little detail we need to add real quickly. Do something like that, and then we can add just a small pop of detail with some signs on the back. Actually, if we switch out these trapdoors, it's like a little viewing thing for the sheep. I don't know. The next detail we gotta add is we gotta fix the grass because it looks pretty plain and boring. To accomplish this, I added a mixture of moss and green concrete powder. So it just kind of has like a variation in color, and I did this in like a patchy effect. I think it looks alright. And there we go. That's already looking a lot better with just that like splash of color. Oh my gosh! There's just so many carrots and potatoes, I just don't know what to do with it all. Next step is just adding little clumps of grass. It can't be too thick or else it'll look weird, but like something like this, you know? That looks nice. It's like the sheep eat here, and this is the grass they eat. And boom, just like that. It's looking a lot better already, but we're still not done yet. Next we add the nether sprouts, which is a new detail bit that I've been trying out and I really like. It's very important that you don't add these like everywhere. It's just got to be a nice little hint of color, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. If you ever need tips on how to build, you're on the wrong channel. Nice! That looks cool! And we go boop, boop, And it's like a little well for them to drink out, I guess. I don't know. I think it looks cool. And then I guess to kind of make it fit into the environment a little bit more, we can add some like little just stones, I guess. I don't know. I guess it'll work. Next part of the build that we can add is a bunch of little trees, and this time I want to experiment with using like walls as like tree branch. We can also use jungle stuff, but then I was thinking just grabbing some azalea leaves and piling that on. Okay, got some trees done. They look fine. They look nice. They look nice. And then another small tree over there. I think this section looks okay. I think the next move I want to do is continue this pathway down, which is exciting. I haven't worked on this pathway in like a couple 100 days, which is crazy. So I added a pathway that went all the way around the new build and met back up on the other side of the sugarcane factory. That just adds a special touch. We can do some more stuff there, but for now, I want to fill this space right here. I wanted to add a little chicken coop, because, I don't know, I think it would be a nice detail bit that I haven't done before, and it would fill the space nicely. But every chicken coop needs some chickens, so I'm gonna go try to find it. You stupid chickens. They're just trying to be difficult. With the chicken coop done, it was just time to add the final little details, like I wanted to add a bunch of little trees everywhere, and then I also wanted to add a wheat field in front of the other side of the sheep field. And finally, we're done with this project. And just like that, we're done with the build. For the most part. Let's take a little tour, shall we? Because I've been doing a lot of terraforming work and I am so sick of it. It's so tedious and annoying. So this is the sugarcane factory building. It's a nice building, but it was looking very weird with nothing on the other side of it, so this kind of fixed it. But I added a little chicken coop right here, which I don't know what they're doing. He's just over there. He's looking at the wall. Creeps me out, if I'm being honest. I think they're plotting something. But yeah, the pathway kind of extends from under here and also over here, which creates a nice center area for this chicken thing. And then this pathway goes all the way around, all the way over to the shop front part of the wool farm. And then I real quickly made some just nice trees. I hate this one, but that's fine. These three are kind of nice. I don't know, it makes the front yard area look a little bit better. And then coming around to this side, we have a giant wheat field. Here, down here, just off the side of the sugarcane factory, we've got a little hatch that leads down to all the chest storage. It is a nightmare, and I'm not excited to sort it all. And then finally, we just have this area for the sheep to roam. But you might be noticing something. Where are all the sheep? I think I mentioned this earlier, but all the sheep are underground at the moment over here because I didn't have a spot for them. Alright guys, it's time. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare. Yeah, just single file, please. Okay, I'm pretty sure they can't escape, but I know for a fact that they will because they're crazy. They're escape artists. Alright, I want to dye these a whole bunch of more neutral colors, I think is the best way to describe it. Like more natural colors. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pretty tired of this project. Designing and all, it took me like 2 weeks, so but thanks for the support. Like seriously, like what happened? Unfortunately, I'm out of time. But this project was pretty crazy. And thanks for watching. Thank you so much for the support. And I'll see you maybe next week if I can get a video out.